robots, which is relatively uncommon. So the fight started now.
And I think this is going to be a challenging fight for Speedhole Express, but immediately damage, I think self-damage done, a bit of plastic flying off there.
Yeah, it seems as if the belt has come off of the motor for home improvement, so that spinner is going to be out of commission for the rest of this fight. They've just got to rely on drive now.
So that, I think, is going to go in favour of Speedhole Express. That's one less damage dealer, but here comes the hammer saw.
Yeah, so we can see here Kairos getting a pin. This kit allows him to hold on for 10 seconds while trying to land the cut. I believe, though, that there has been a pause in the fight.
So I think that was an unstick is what the count was for, because Drillhole Express was getting stuck.
Yeah, so we're a bit, one of the changes for this year, they're going to be a lot more strict with pins and grabs and releases, so you're going to see unsticks a lot faster than you would normally.
So Kairos coming in with some damage, but the pit has dropped. That means any robot can get knocked out in a second's notice.
Yeah, so you can see here sort of both overheads ganging up on home improvement in a way. Both very different ways of getting into the top panel. Kairos using a saw blade, Speedhole Express using just a small drill bit, which can be surprisingly effective.
And Speedhole is now tentatively on the edge of the pit. Great manoeuvring there by the Roboteer. And now they find the backside of home improvement and they're drilling down in.
Yeah, no, this is
tag teaming on home improvement. They really have been bullied in this fight.
Yeah, it seems that both of them are using home improvement as a way to score points for a judge's decision, but now we can see a bit of reach issues, I think, for both robots to try to get at each other. Home improvement very much the weak link in this fight at the moment. But still in this one.
And home improvement is now getting a bit of an opportunity to bash into the others as they fight each other. Drillhole Express and Kairos going up against each other head to head. I do think Drillhole has a better reach than Kairos, but the forks are really helping.
Yeah, slightly better, but you can see here another cut being landed here. This one's going to go to the judges. A bit of a hard one to call, I think, from this first fight, I have to say.
So a nice gentle wind up as the audience gives an applause.
Already Stasis with a different version of the machine Impulse.
And you can see there both Icebreaker and DeuxBrie powering up their weapons before moving forward. And now DeuxBrie out of control and in the air.
Yeah, very nice meaty hit there from Icebreaker, already landing pretty nasty hits, but gyroing quite a lot here.
And I'm really impressed by Cascade. They did get underneath and they've been doing some flips already this fight. I thought they would be in trouble going up against some very powerful weapons, but look at them, they're nipping underneath.
Yeah, no, Cascade has a lot of speed and a disadvantage, and while the spinners can do a lot of damage, they've also got a lot of gyroscopic effects that is affected by them when they're moving.
Icebreaker demonstrating that perfectly in that moment.
Yeah, so that's Cascade's best chance to win this fight, and they've kept very aggressive, but every robot here is still working, still dangerous.
But Cascade taking a big blow there, and we're now seeing Icebreaker up on the roof, but they managed to get back on the ground. Cascade, I think, is doing a fantastic job using the momentum of those spinners, but that's a big hit from
beautiful
DeuxBrie.
pass. Self-riding beautifully, it has to be said. The lifter, almost a flipper really, the mechanism that it has.
But DeuxBrie has lost a wheel. They are now in trouble.
Yeah, in theory it should only be one. They should still be able to drive with 3 wheels, but they are looking a lot more sluggish now at this point.
And the weapon is powering down. I think that might be DeuxBrie out of this battle, so Cascade and Icebreaker can focus on each other.
Yeah, so as you can see, DeuxBrie twitching a little. At this point it's out, so an Icebreaker has actually seemingly slowed down the weapon a bit more just to reduce the gyro effect that it has.
And I'm just looking at the forks of Icebreaker. The plastic material, it seems to have lifted up, and so they're unable to get underneath as easily. And that's really giving Cascade an advantage, as those forks are just keeping Cascade far enough away from that vertical spinner.
Yeah, some legacy damage maybe from some exchanges with DeuxBrie. And you can see flying around, Cascade controlling this one very, very nicely.
3 seconds left of this fight. Can they get a knockout? I don't think so. We're going to the judges.
That was a terrific fight, I have to say.
Activate.
So only one spinner in this fight, and immediately going after DOOMbot. That's quite vicious. So we're seeing there in sparks flying off the forks there of Gunfinger.
Yeah, so Gunfinger and Antimatter immediately going fork to fork, basically. As another hit landed by Antimatter on DOOMbot. The only pure grabber in this tournament, I believe.
I think that is correct, and it's interesting watching the Egg Beater just go into the flat surface of DeuxBrie. It's not really doing that much damage, but now we're seeing some proper damage up against Gunfinger. They're going to town.
Yeah, no, Gunfinger is definitely taking a lot of hit here. Antimatter smelling blood, and the controller, the tap-out button has been hit. Gunfinger is out of this fight.
And we're seeing DeuxBot with the wheel missing as well. That's a tap-out, and Antimatter devastating. Goes into making him look nice as well as being devastating. So the spinners are getting up to speed. I don't know why you'd give them time to do that.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it's just trying to, you know, pick your moment, pick your battles, and we can see some spinners colliding each other. The size difference between Galahad and Swoop is quite incredible, isn't it?
I mean, that's just a jump, skip and a jump all over the arena floor there. And they're finally trying to get into the Fatal. That seemed to be a lot of damage, but it's just the tyres shredding there of Galahad. It's not really any real damage.
Yeah, so the tyres of Galahad are designed to be more compliant. Maybe not that compliant.
They're not designed to do that. That was not what we intended.
Yeah, that's going to be a massive problem, especially for Galahad, for Swoop getting up to speed now. Galahad looking in a very strong position at this point of the fight.
Well, that was an amazing amount of acceleration from Bubblegum Lift. They just powered their way across the arena floor.
Yeah, Bubblegum does have its weapon, does have its lifter. I think the lifter is slightly damaged, but it is still able to get something, and Galahad is now upside down. Can they get back up to right on their wheels?
So I think Bubblegum Lift, their strategy has got to be clean. It's got to be to get them into the pit, just like that. And now that leaves 2 robots left in the fight.
Yeah, that's what you got to do as a control bot, just survive as long as possible. And yeah, you can see hard fought that one.
Only classified crusher in this competition, so let's see how they hold up against the rest of them. And immediately the spinner up to speed, doing damage, and that's hard lips out.
Yeah, that was one hit and instantly some parts flown away. I don't know if those were intended to fly away, but now it's a one-on-one fight here between EMP and Stasis.
So EMP rocking a nice colour scheme now, but they are just taking some damage. That material is flaking all over. Are they stuck?
Yeah, I think something's been damaged in the linkage there.
They're clearly still alive, but just twitching. It looks quite upsetting, like a baby bird falling out of the nest.
Activate.
So here we go, and immediately he's filing in, and we're seeing going underneath there is Déjà 2.
Yeah, very nearly out of the arena, has survived that initial exchange as the 2 spinners meet each other.
And got itself stuck on the side of the wall, but thankfully back in, and that's a beautiful lift we're seeing there.
Yeah, beautiful already. I don't know what you can grab on Spinzolotl, but I respect Déjà 2 for trying it anyway.
Well, once the weapon's powered down, there is actually opportunity to get around the chassis, the Axie. Massive hit there by Shrek.
Yeah, no, Shreking ball, it reminds you, like, Sam Price knows how to build a spinning weapon, and that hit may have just taken out Déjà 2.
So Déjà 2 definitely looks out, and Spinzolotl just pondering what to do next, as that's disc-to-disc contact, and I think the link is out.
Well, no, I don't think the link is out of Shrek, but something's definitely not moving the way it should be. That's a tap out. That's a win for Spinzolotl.
Solid. Excited to see Guiney Graves. They are a tried and tested robot, and they are going to be walking their way across the arena. And immediately, a big hit into the back of Photon. Up into the ceiling they go.
That was quite a scary hit. Quite a lot of energy going on. Guiney Graves, clearly not the fastest turn, but you saw here.
And Aggro Wobba doing the job there. Ramming Guiney Graves into the arena wall. That is what they need to do to immobilize that weapon.
Yeah, some beautiful things. Aggro Wobba is basically treating Guiney Graves as a moving arena hazard here. Feeding Proton's looking a little more worse for wear after these exchanges.
And Guiney Graves dangerously over the pit. Can someone hit the button?
The pit button has been pressed. Guiney Graves does have time to escape, but is not the most mobile bot at the best of times, so is in a dangerous position here as Aggro Wobba has been turned upside down.
Well, I've seen a Roboteer tap out, but we have got an entanglement, so we're going to pause the fight.
And I believe your robot gets hit in a loose exchange at this point. It's not going to be good.
And you don't want so much damage being done in the early stages. So Aggro Wobba needs to self-right themselves if they can. Yeah, but they have time to do so because Guiney Graves is stuck in the corner.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Aggro Wobba, I don't know if that weapon is working. And they are looking a little worse for wear here. Guiney Graves
No, they were just being careful. They were being cautious because they knew they were in the danger zone. Aggro Wobba, though, looks to be stuck on the side of the wall.
They're trying to wriggle themselves free. I think the tap out has happened. And got any grapes sort of
Activate.
So there we have it there. A bit too fast for ground, but immediately. And that's one of the discs I think already instantly knocked out.
So Sunstroke going up into the sky where it belongs, and Revron now upside down as Flick 2 turns their attention. And is that Revron out for the count?
That might be them. I don't know. They seem to be stuck. Their forks, the tips of their forks are stuck in the arena wall. They can't drive off. And they're going to get counted out here.
Revron is out, and Flick 2 now has full attention on Sunstroke, and Sunstroke's weapon looks to be completely immobilized.
Yeah, you can see the power of Flick 2's flipping weapon remarkably good. Sunstroke did take out one of Flick's wheels, but even with that, Sunstroke now doesn't have any weapons, and the mini-bot on Flick 2 is holding Sunstroke in place.
So we're seeing there, Flick 2 pretty much pirouetting, seesawing their way around the arena. That's really difficult for the Roboteers. Still getting flips in, which is fantastic.
Yeah, no, that trust me, I've tried to build spring clippers in the past. That's a lot of air for a spring clipper, but Sunstroke has a spinner up and running again.
And I think Flick 2 is actually stuck on the arena wall. A flick was needed to untangle them, and what was it that hit there?
Yeah, and we can see Flick desperately trying to get back up onto its wheels. But again, landing more flips, remaining aggressive. I've been now stuck at his mini-bot.
Well, I've been proven wrong. Sunstroke's spinning disc, one of their spinning discs is still working, and now we're seeing damage done, and they look to be winning the pushing game.
Yeah. Oh, and the mini-bot has been tossed. That doesn't mean Flick 2 is eliminated, but that will hurt. But Sunstroke.
But they're both seesawing their way across the arena. Neither robot has really got the control.
Yeah, they've both got some weaponry. They've both got one-sided drive. Both remaining pretty aggressive here as well, I have to say. This is a hard fight to call.
But that Flick 2, that Flick looked very weak, and we're looking now, the guard of Flick 2 has been cut in half by the saw disc of Sunstroke, and we're getting ever closer to the pit.
Yeah, Flick desperately trying to remain, finding some way of movement. Something's not going quite right. Sunstroke very close to the pit.
They've got to be so careful that they didn't fling themselves in, and that's the end of the fight with Kopout.
Yes, Kopout, I believe it is. So we can see we may have gotten, was that a false start? Or the fight has started?
No, the fight started. Everyone just thought they were going off for a tea break. That is not the case, and we are getting the spinning weapons up to speed. Wajoo is a devastatingly powerful robot.
Yeah, no, Wajoo is one of the shortest robots in the world at this weight class, but it hits like very few others.
I don't know if people remember Blades from their childhood, but it is very much what we are seeing here.
Yeah.
Bilbo Bag Bot getting thrown around the arena, and now the aggression goes against Kopout.
Yeah, so we can see both spinners still working here. No one called out quite yet, though Kopout taking some nasty whacks here, and Kopout has tapped out, so it's now just a two-robot race here.
So we're seeing Bilbo Bag Bot. Their spinning weapon is powering down. I don't know if that is. No, they are in control of it, so that is good. But they are on the edge of the arena pit. And down they go.
It seemed like the two spinners almost took a moment to breathe for
a new livery on that robot.
So some nice looking bots here. We have a spring clipper, a regular lifter, and an egg beater spinner. Already the spring clipper taking some whacks, and immediately a tap out has happened. And Frog is trying to self-right, but something, and another tap out, and that's it.
Blink and you miss it. Reisen doing. It's always interesting. I see the robots on the entry sheet, and then I see them in real life, and sometimes they're so drastically different. And Luchador's knocked out.
Yeah, that was. I mean, that's a massive shock. Certainly, one hit. Very fortunate, but already Corruption's taken out a big favourite in this competition, and I believe Perpetual has lost the drill bit on its drilling arm.
Well, that is a very wobbly drilling arm. It does not look stable at all. And yeah, Corruption now kind of having their way with the robots, but a brilliant self-right by Perpetual.
Yeah, has to torque at the moment, but one of the
fork is stuck. The fork is stuck on the outside of the arena wall.
Yeah, no, Perpetual. I mean, definitely Corruption being, very sporting in many ways, letting them get back up, giving them time to breathe. I don't think they're going to do that. I think you're allowed to do that once, and then it's like instant aggression from after that.
So a very good pin. Perpetual are still being aggressive. They're not running away from Corruption, and now the pin has dropped, so anyone can win this battle. All it takes is an accidental slip of the control stick, and you're out.
Yeah, no, Perpetual's drive is still working. Corruption has not won this fight yet.
So I just saw something wheel its way over towards us. It looked like a motor. I'm not quite sure what that was. And a good pin now by Perpetual. They're running the countdown as we get closer to the pit.
Unbelievable. And Perpetual, out of nowhere,
Not fighting.
Activate.
And will we see the Clusterbot and Lilith team up against... No, we will not. Mow Problems. I thought we were going to see teaming up against the Spinner.
yeah. So Revengers almost fighting each other. Lilith trying to single out one of them, turning upside down, and Mow Problems really just trying to land whatever hits they can.
But I think one of the Revengers looks to be a little bit immobilized. They're seesawing already. And Lilith is now stuck. Are they tapping out?
I think Lilith has tapped out. I think a cable has gotten loose in the power system, and that's it. Lilith's out.
And that is out for Mow Problems.
Yeah, again, that's the problem. The armor.
Activate.
So we can see a small tentative start here at the moment. No spinning up yet from Aero, but trying to land a good shot. Getting a nice whack there on inversion, pretty quick.
And we are going to see a much more controlled style fight here. There's none of those big hitting spinning discs. This is going to be actually a really good bracket here.
Yeah. No, it'll be fascinating here. I mean, inversion doesn't look like visually the most impressive robot, but it's going to be reliable. Will Thomas, the designer, is very experienced, very good driver, very good at just making robots that work.
So I was going to say, Slamivian this is a really good bracket for them because they don't have to worry about those immediate knockouts. What is going on in the corner?
Yeah, great hit by Aero, managing to land the hammer saw and then dragging inversion over with it, which is a remarkable amount of torque for a robot like this.
It's always an impressive kind of wind-up, but it looks like the spinning disc has now launched itself. They seem to be stuck.
Yeah, this is always the issue with a hammer
and then lifting.
Fight pause.
So he can...
He's going to do it again.
I think that was a promise by Aero, but let's see what happens. The forks of inversion are not quite where they want them to be. They've now realigned.
Aero instantly and clearly sees it.
And they've done it again!
Yeah, very nice. Onto the weapon. Yeah, nearly into the pit.
But they're not touching the floor. Inversion hasn't touched the floor, so are they actually out?
I don't know. That neither of them are out. This... I don't know how to call this one, I'll be honest.
We'll have to check the rules on this, but we got a handshake. I think the Roboteers have come to their own decision, and I think that beats the Jet 2 holiday. We are not sponsored, we are just naming the robots as they are listed.
Yeah, we can see there a big open sign where the link is at the back, and nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday. Arguably a weak point, I would say, though losing a wheel is probably even more detrimental.
But it does look like a sacrificial wheel. It looks like it's going to be an easy repair, and they're not out. They're still seesawing their way around. Yeah. But look at the carnage being done between Kickflip.
Yeah, Kickflip and Wishbone clearly seeing each other as the biggest threat and are going hell for leather against each other.
And I think we got a bit of an entanglement happening here. It looks like the thing kind of looks stuck.
Yeah, this might be an entanglement. It depends. I don't know how it'll be called. It's a hold on. In all of this going...
I see some team tactics come into play here, and we do, both of them charging over to Angel Slice.
Yeah, both robots clearly running a horizontal config to deal with Angel Slice. So Angel Slice really going to have a 2-on-1 here. It's really got to hit hard to power through it regardless.
And if you're up close against the arena, cover your ears, because Angel Slice is going to be doing some damage to the beautiful new paintwork.
Yeah, no, already Angel Slice upside down. That may affect where it's able to hit, but it seems to have been righted again.
And it looks like a game of catch here. Angel Slice and Ray are just passing. No, sorry, Angel Slice is getting passed between Chucky and Ray.
Yeah, I think Ray may have lost a lift there, but Chucky controlling Angel Slice here, stopping them from spinning up, trying to keep pressure on Angel Slice. Both of these wedge robots are generally very, very good driving weapons, very able to take hits, and Angel Slice is not spinning up anymore.
No, they seem to be in this pushing game, and we're now seeing the pin be enabled. I thought we would see Ray or Chucky move over to the pin button a lot sooner, but with the horizontal spinner out of action, they don't actually have to worry.
Yeah, they can take a bit more time here. Ray is clearly a little more compromised upside down. And Angel Slice, surprisingly, does have a decent amount of pushing power as a shuffler, which is not an easy thing to do.
I completely forgot that they are a shuffler. They're moving around this arena with such mobility. Yeah. They don't look to be hampered at all.
No, and it's great for aggression points for the judges. So they're going to keep that in mind. They're going to keep control in mind. Chucky, meanwhile, is remaining aggressive. Ray is remaining in the fight, is going to need maybe a stroke of luck to survive, but both of the robots are close to the pit here.
For a split second there, I thought we were going to see Chucky go in, but Angel Slice is on the edge. They cannot get away.
Yeah, Angel Slice teetering on the brink and are in, and Chucky's just driven in.
Chucky taking themselves out of the fight, overexcited. Let's see if this goes to full 2 minutes.
Yeah, so we can see here Chopstick is going to be very conservative with the saw, only getting it started when they get under an opponent to conserve battery power. But it's a very, very powerful saw on it there as Monterey Jack gets aggressive with the chainsaw.
And it's hard to tell if it's just debris from previous fights that's being scattered around, or if some robots are already having little pieces taken out of them. We're now seeing the yellow Monterey Jack being flung around.
And there we go, instantly damage to the grabbing arms of Monterey Jack. That saw blade is very scary on Chopsticks.
And Monterey Jack with a brilliant self-right as we see Chopsticks turn their attention over to Forkhead.
Yeah. You can see Forkhead has almost sort of these stoppers on the front, on the top panel, which I believe are designed to try to stop the saw blade from getting into contact with the main electronics of Forkhead. Very clever way of doing it.
And the live stream won't hear this. Monterey Jack is being counted out here because they're struggling. They're just pirouetting on the spot. And that's going to leave Forkhead and Chopsticks to contend with each other.
Yeah, so we can see a Forkhead remaining slippery enough to keep away from Chopsticks, but now Chopsticks getting the blade in and getting some nice cuts in there. Ooh, very nasty.
And they're going right for the drive system there of Forkhead. They are not mucking around. They're going straight after the rubber bands. They're going straight after the mobile. But a nice little move there from Forkhead. Almost saw Chopsticks take themselves out of this competition.
Yeah, so we can see here, I mean, Forkhead, the vulnerable parts are in the middle. They don't even need it there. And yeah, a very dominating performance.
That's the favourite, but we've seen Speedhole do some fantastic stuff, and they are running themselves around, immediately showcasing their control, but the damage is immediately being done by Revron.
Yeah, I mean, sort of the pontoons at the front don't really have anything valuable in them, so they can take a few hits, but you certainly don't want hits at the back panel and instantly eliminated.
So, not really much to talk about on that fight, but I was...
Activate.
So DeuxBrie instantly getting up to speed, flipping themselves over and going for a ride. But you can see the front of Photon has taken massive damage there.
Yeah, Photon looks to be a little bit twisted almost. It's hard to say what's wrong with them. They seem to have their forks up and they ram themselves out of the arena.
Yeah, I mean, DeuxBrie definitely...
Activate.
Very different form factors. Basically, for both of these robots. Just bouncing around.
So Swoop immediately out of control. Last fight they lost the wheel. Let's see if they can keep the wheels on their wagon this time. And look at that driver up there.
Swoop is a hard robot to fight because it can sort of hit everywhere, including parts you wouldn't normally expect to hit from, which is going to be a cause for concern for EMP.
Oh, now we see some proper damage get done against EMP. And I think they maneuvered themselves into that position. But hang on, Swoop isn't moving either.
Yeah, they're pretty sure they're able to move. EMP trying to self-right, but just doesn't have the energy.
So Swoop have got their weapon up to full power, and they're just waiting for the count out, which eventually came. The pit button is there and the Uta zone, so let's see as they lock horns and the first flip is made.
Yeah, so damage, control rather than damage. We can see here Gunfinger a little slow to self-right, but does. And Déjà too, clearly with a lot of torque on that lifter, able to get some very nice grab. I say that, it seems to be stalling or clicking there at the moment.
And we've got a proper grab now though. They found a nice little chink in the armor and they are actually just holding on, maneuvering around. We can see the pit button is just about to enable now.
Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, it's very much a game of the ground game, but also pushing forces here. I think Déjà is just missing that last little bit of torque. It's very hard to get a good, reliable grab and lift because of how the levering forces work. But even with that said, Déjà is still keeping a good amount of control there. Gunfinger, though, is starting to gain some points here.
But their flipper, to me, it looks very tame. We've seen some very powerful flippers. I'm not sure Gunfinger has that style of flipper.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. I would say you have flippers and you have lifters. Gunfinger, much more of a flipper, but you can still achieve quite a bit with a good flipper. And we can see here, again, remaining more aggressive and certainly, I'd say outside of the first impact, Gunfinger has been the one landing the most flips here. As I say that, Déjà 2's just flipped him again. Again, Déjà 2 not able to quite get a grab and lift, but able to get lifts and able to get grabs separately. That's still valuable if it goes to a judge's decision here.
Which we are counting down, 20 seconds left in this fight, and they are back and forth. Neither Roboteer opting for the button, so I think they want this to go the full way. They're happy for a judge's decision.
Yeah, no, it's a proper scrap. A lot to think about for the judges here.
9, 8,
both robots
7,
providing aggression, control.
5,
no damage to be seen here.
3,
but
2,
this will
1.
likely take a while to determine who the winner is. Decent fight. Shreking Ball.
Activate.
So Shreking Ball, we know they can do a lot of damage, and I just don't know what DeuxBot. I don't know what their game plan is going into this.
Yeah.
Avoid the damage, maybe count the 30 seconds so that the pit button is live.
Yeah, something like that. DeuxBot's going to try to get around to the sides where the spinner can't hit. Shreking Ball is just going to likely hit them into the out of the arena zone. And then
Very equally matched robots and Roboteers, it has to be said.
yeah, so it'll all be about who wins the initial ground game, but I don't think there's a ground game to consistently win here. Both of them very stout, very stocky machines. So
I'm quite surprised they're willing to go head to head with their vertical spinners, and so close to the outer zone. Icebreaker gets the win.
yeah, I mean, Icebreaker had a mission there. Win the
Yeah, and in case you haven't clocked it, Home Improvement spinning weapon is a saw. Well, it's shaped in the style of a saw, and we're seeing Aggro Wobba's shield there doing a great job to protect him against that spinning vertical.
Yeah, so again, the game for Aggro Wobba, just do not let that spinner get under you and land a hit. Home Improvement losing a little bit of its 3D printed parts once again. That might hurt it if it gets knocked over to the side.
And Home Improvement has to be careful here because they can't hit the arena wall too much. They've proven their weapon is a little bit delicate with that first fight.
Yeah.
So Aggro Wobba, they're going to be doing a great job to outmaneuver Home Improvement.
Yeah, they've done well, but one of the forks has become damaged, and the more damage you have on your ground game, the harder it becomes to then win the ground game continuing. Aggro Wobba remaining aggressive, landing hits. Home Improvement still in this one though.
Well, I don't know if you saw that. Aggro Wobba's axe came down, and on the lift up, it lifted off that plastic piece from Home Improvement. It was almost surgically done.
Yeah,
so
very nice damage there, certainly.
So quite controlled, and as we can see, Aggro Wobba doing everything to get to the side of Home Improvement. Home Improvement, though, proving to be more durable as they get ever closer to the pit.
No, very, very close moment for both robots, both surviving. Aggro Wobba got the pit successfully, has not been kicked out of the arena, and Home Improvement finally landing a big whack or two, and
that might even be the killing blow. Aggro Wobba, the wheels are spinning, but the weapon cannot help itself self-right.
yeah, no, the weapon does not seem to be able to survive here. A valiant effort from Aggro Wobba, has to be said. Really, really good attempt, but Home Improvement...
What actually look
Activate.
that durable up against a crushing weapon.
Yeah,
so let's see what happens.
Yeah, it all depends on where it lands. Instantly, though, Hard Lips has taken a whack to the back again, and again, just not able to drive in a straight line, unfortunately.
Well, we can see there the circuitry is exposed. That's like the organs of a robot. And it is disgusting what has just happened there. They've de-gutted Hard Nip. Sunstroke, here's your... I think we'll stay focused on the action in the arena than diving any deeper into that fort. And immediately we've got a little lift there from Inversion. Big Roll not quite getting underneath with their ramp.
Yeah, so Figaro with a spring flipper, and it was not able to work in the first fight. It seems to at least be armed and ready for this fight. But again, Inversion, once again, can be meticulous in its control.
And they're doing a great job with this lift. We've seen that too many times now. Roboteers just driving their robot over their competitor into the outer zone. And Inversion beautifully controlled.
Inversion was interesting.
See what happens.
Activate.
Yeah, so we can see here Angel Slice slow, getting up to speed a little, but Kopout trying to keep the pressure on. Angel Slice maybe a little sluggish with the spinner. Certainly spinning, but doesn't seem to be getting up to full speed quite like before.
And Kopout doing a great job there to stay on the rear side of Angel Slice. They do not want to go anywhere near that spinning weapon. And as you mentioned, yeah, Angel Slice's spinning disc is not getting up to speed.
Yeah. Now, Angel Slice can still function as a control bot. It does have the advantage of the forks in the back. And Kopout can't really afford to run forks because of the undercutter of Angel Slice. Very clever designing by Andy there.
So we're seeing the shuffle bot of Angel Slice with their forks managing to get underneath Kopout, and I think that counts as a little mini pit.
It does indeed, yeah. So Angel Slice clearly not fighting at 100%, but they have a strategy. And this is one of the things, sometimes you can win these fights in the building phase, in the designing phase, although that was a very close shove from Kopout there.
Yeah, Kopout really now, they're coming into their own. 1 minute has gone of this fight, but the extra weight there for Angel Slice, you know, they are a heavier robot. That's going to be harder for Kopout.
Yeah, no, it is. It certainly is. And Kopout has to first get under Angel Slice and then try to maneuver them, although that potentially could have been something, but Angel Slice got away.
It was definitely a nice little lift, a nice showcase of what they could do. Oh, Kopout so close, and it is so easy. With their speed, Kopout can throw themselves into the pit as they get ever closer once again.
Yeah, it's so easy to get jumpy when you're next to that pit because every single movement of that, you know, millimeters on a control stick, and that can be the difference between you just jumping into the pit or carefully moving around.
So Angel Slice don't quite have that acceleration to worry about. They're not that fast as a robot, but they do have the weight. So the pushing battle has actually been very close. We're into the final 10 seconds.
5,
Yeah,
4,
so this one will go to the judges.
2, 1.
Definitely not an easy one to call for the judges, but I think after the first hand,
Novian in the other opposite corner and up to speed, that weapon disc. Look at it grinding away in the arena floor. Beautifully painted for this competition. It's going to be showing some scars at the end of today.
yeah, no, these are the events where certainly the painters do not like robots like Mow Problems, but it can be quite dramatic, quite splendid when it's actually working, and you can see here, oh, nasty shot nearly out in the arena there.
So that is Mow Problems doing a big hit up against Slamulian. That's the ramp, the guard of Slamulian is now gone.
Yeah, that's the part that's meant to take the hits. It did take the hit, one, and now it's gone. Difficult move for now, difficult strategy. Now, what does Slamulian do when going against Mow Problems?
Well, I don't think the strategy changes for Slamulian. Are we seeing a tap out? I think we did. I'm not quite sure.
I believe so.
Get in what would be the red, and so Lancerfrog immediately putting it forward. They're lifting ramp.
Yeah, I think just trying to stop kickflip. If they drive under kickflip, then their weapon will come into contact. So keeping the lifter up, trying to stop, basically trying to catch the back of kickflip, keeping the weapon away. Doing okay so far. Nearly.
That was so close, but they just skirted away. And you're absolutely right. That is Sir Lancerfrog's strategy through and through. Use that exposable arm as a distance setter so that the weapon of kickflip can't do the damage.
Yeah, kick arm is a keep away stick. Use kickflip's own energy to stop itself. And kickflip is clearly.
And it's the thing! It's done the thing!
I have to say, I was not expecting Lancerfrog to win this one. But that was a remarkable display of driving, and again, really, really good.
Tend against each other.
Yeah. So both robots took the Bilbo getting up to speed as quick as possible. A lot of energy in that spinner, has to be said.
The weapon is insane. Is a robot possessed?
Yeah, no, there's a lot of speed here, and Chucky is trying to keep them under pressure, stop that weapon from impacting them. They've done that so far. And
I think, as you can kind of predict, that weapon is now immobilized, and Chucky trying to lift Bilbo Bag Bot out is on the edge, but Bilbo managing to get over the opposite direction. They're still in the fight.
Yeah, they are indeed. I think that weapon may be finished there. Unbelievable energy there, has to be said.
Well, we've seen Chucky drive themselves into the pit once before, and we got Bilbo dangerously on the edge. They are just playing a dangerous game. Does Chucky go in and chase them?
Yeah, it's a dangerous game, but it might be the only game Bilbo has access to at this stage.
And Bilbo's enticing them in. What was that? What did we just see? The coward's way out. A 2023 champion. So let's see if they are going to be making themselves, you know, redeemed in this fight, because it is very strange to see them in this position.
Yeah, I mean, partially bad luck, just the way some of the impacts go. Forkhead with a much more aggressive fork config here, but clearly trying to gain some kind of reach from Luchador, and will be a very hard robot, I think, to really get a grab on for Luchador.
Well, so far, from my count, Luchador is getting underneath Forkhead more often than not. But now we're seeing a nice little lift and carry.
You can see. Only beautifully. What have we just witnessed? That was unbelievable.
So Monterey Jack is self-explanatory, the orange cheese wedge, and you might not see it from afar. It does have a saw blade in it, but there's no time to tell you about that, because disruption has taken him out of the competition.
Much more than impressive in its second fight. And Perpetual, who has shown they don't need a weapon to win a control battle. They probably do need power, though.
And I think that is done before we even got going.
They may still, I think they've got movement. I think just their base play has become so warped.
And that's a tap out, that's a tap out. So the weapon was gone immediately. Revron. And Revengers is a much lower robot, so let's see if they just dive underneath DeuxBrie, which they have been doing already. And DeuxBrie now struggling to get back under control.
Yeah, one of the Revengers got hit, one of the other ones managed to get under effortlessly. So these may be 50-50 exchanges in many ways. One of the Revengers stuck at the moment.
But they haven't got their teammate, so maybe we'll see a bit of teamwork here to up into the arena roof.
Yeah, in theory, that should be one of the advantages of a cluster, where they should be able to free an opponent that's been knocked out. Revengers seem to forget about that, but so now it's just a 1v1 fight here, although DeuxBrie seems to have lost its weapon here.
Yeah, so you notice it's gone incredibly quiet now as DeuxBrie spinning the Egg Beater has been immobilized. There is a one-on-one, as you've mentioned, so the pushing power you would have thought goes to DeuxBrie because they're heavier.
Well, usually, but you also need your wheels to be on the ground for that. And Revengers has,
Well, let's hear the countdown. 3, 2, 1. It is over.
So there we go. The Blue Revenger glory hogging, taking all of the credit in its first fight.
So will we see the wheels stay on Swoop, or will Reisen start to chip away at them and immediately up into the air? It looks like they can fly.
Yeah, Reisen getting some good lands there, and already a wheel is off of Swoop.
But it's not
wheels.
It's not one of the big ones, exactly.
Yeah, crucially, they have space, and Reisen maybe a little hesitant, a little shaken from those first few hits, but still landing a lot of these whacks.
So some mega impact sparks are flying, and Reisen is slowing down and tapped out. Is that a win for Swoop?
It seems to have been. Yeah, there was a tap out. And again.
Anticipation going up against Déjà to begin.
Yeah, so this is a real damage test for Déjà 2. Can it survive what Wajoo can do? Because in theory, if you can flip Wajoo, you've won the fight. Wajoo has no self-righting mechanism at all.
But I'm watching this, and I've never seen a more lethal ramp. Déjà Vu has a ramp that really is right on the arena floor, and it's still not enough. Wajoo is so low to the floor.
Yeah. And that's doing a lot of damage right into the grabbing mecha lifter mechanism of Déjà 2. I think that's it.
It does look like it's it. So a much more controlled fight than what we're used to. The count has concluded, and Wajoo's pushing the pit button. Felix, come on, push the pit.
Activate.
So let's see if that mini-bot ends up in the arena roof, because that is what I'm expecting.
Yeah. You can see Wishbone getting the best of these initial exchanges so far. Icebreaker not usually used to losing as many exchanges early, but landing some hits there now.
Well, Minibot has lost one of its wheels, so they are just an obstacle in the arena, something that these big, powerful weapons can knock around. Icebreaker struggling to stay under control.
Yeah, the ground game is just not working out for Icebreaker. They cannot get their weapon into play. But it is still spinning, and when it lands, you can see it. Something metal went off there.
So spinner against spinner, and it just throws both robots across the arena. Icebreaker into the wall.
Yeah. These are two robots that are used to driving fast, and they are recovering so quickly.
And we haven't even had a minute of this fight left, so a lot of damage yet to be done.
Yeah, some nice whacks there from Wishbone. Both robots very rubbery in their sense that they're not really taking many damage from it. The bit has been impressed almost accidentally, I would say.
But the internals are going to be taking a knock. That is something to consider. Although the outer casing, they do look fine. The internals is in trouble, and I think that's Icebreaker stuck on the Minibot.
Yeah, the corpse Minibot used. And that was it. Beautiful job by Wishbone.
Ray in the dark zone.
Yeah.
And a head-on collision straight away sends Home Improvement up into the air.
Yeah, no fear on Ray. Ray won the first fight through attrition and is gonna aim for something similar here, it seems.
So maybe running into the foxhole, just hiding out. But is that Home Improvement getting dangerously close to the Uta zone? They're stuck almost on the arena wall.
Yeah, Ray is waiting, letting a count out happen.
And we got some taunting.
Yeah, trying to use.
And that's a countdown.
There we go. Yeah, no, it is Shreking Ball versus Chopsticks for this fight. And Both robots very nervous of the other's weaponry here.
And we're seeing, I think that's a little bit of Shreking Ball being chipped away, and the hammer now coming down from Chopsticks, and we're seeing a bit of blade-to-blade contact as sparks fly.
Yeah, very dangerous game for Chopsticks because that weapon motor is on the arm, so one good hit into that weapon of Shreking Ball and that motor is dead. But there's also a lot of plastic on Shrek.
And so once again, blade-to-blade contact, throwing Chopsticks up into the air. There is damage on Shreking Ball, the forks. I mean, that blade disc does have the ability to cut right through the forks of Shreking Ball.
Yeah. One very clever move Shreking Ball has made is they've taken some of their normal metal forks that they have at the front and put them on the top panels to stop Chopsticks from cutting through as easily.
So a bit of armor.
Very smart.
And very close now, we're seeing there the potential for Chopsticks to get chucked into the Uta zone, and the arena pit has lowered. 1 minute has gone on this fight, and here we see the armor coming into play. You mentioned it, you called it out perfectly. Chopsticks not doing the damage it wants to.
No, but it does still have a good drive system. Very bouncy, it's taken a few direct hits, and everything is still functioning on both of these robots.
And there we see a blade-to-blade once again.
Yeah.
That might have been the driving wheel.
Yeah.
The belt's been snapped, I think.
Yeah, that was a high-risk play from Chopsticks, but Shreking Ball has lost its weapon, it seems. That's a massive problem for them.
30 seconds left in this fight. Chopsticks has the aggressive potential now with the weapon. And, well, we've just got to see Shreking Ball survive or get their enemy into the pit.
Yeah, I mean, Chopsticks ground game certainly a bit of a problem now. They might be cutting into their own fork, but a lot of momentum is now gone for them.
And is that the thing? Is it stuck? We have entered the 10-second count, so I don't think the ref will get a chance to count it out.
Yeah, this one will go to the judges, but that is definitely a sombering image to end on for Shreking Ball.
Big to see them go head-to-head.
Yeah, so has Angel Slice got its weapon? That's looking much healthier than last time, and Antimatter is already upside down. Not ideal to be at this part. And I think the bulkheads, this is the more Angel Slice chops the top of those of Antimatter, the harder it will be to run upside down.
Well, you mentioned this is not a good position for Antimatter to be in, but actually, by being upside down, they're avoiding a lot of Angel Slice's weapon.
They are indeed. They're sort of climbing up an Angel Slice and may be able to get something vulnerable there, even the drive pods, potentially.
And we're seeing now Antimatter, I think they've just been grounded to a tap out. Indeed, they have Angel Slice. It is the winner.
Yeah, you can see the Egg Beater has been damaged. New.
Activate.
Both really well driven and effective weapons, but in different ways, I would say.
And I know all of the action is in on the arena looking at the robots, but watching the Roboteers as well, it's clear to see the concentration you have to have when controlling these robots.
Oh, completely. You have to be completely locked in, and you've got such short windows of opportunity in many of these fights.
And what I'm just watching here, we got a close-up view. The forks are just entangling each other, which is stopping Inversion from being able to lift.
Yeah, Inversion does have somewhat of a reach advantage, but it's also struggling to get all of its forks under Cascade to get an effective lift. That was sort of there, but they're also both so fast that they're just able to escape.
Well, Cascade to me looks to be the more stable, lower centre of gravity potentially, as they do get underneath Inversion, and we're starting to see some first proper flips of this battle.
Yeah, Cascade does seem to have a speed and control advantage, and definitely, certainly in the power of the lifter. But this is the kind of fight that can be determined by one wrong move, so we'll have to see how it goes here.
And 1 minute has gone already in this battle, and now we're starting to see Inversion getting on the side of Cascade. They're starting to be a bit more aggressive now.
Yeah, starting to get a bit of momentum for themselves, but Cascade again darting around, staying near the sides. Cascade really needs to get under a robot to get a lift, which is a bit challenging. But here you see the problem for Inversion. They're under, but they can't get the leverage.
Well, they're trying. I think it might be something to do with the forks getting caught on the edge. Yeah, that was it. So enough lifting force in the end from Inversion, but it has been challenging for them to get the lifts. I mean, I think Cascade has been better at going around the sides, but we'll see as we enter into the final 20 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, Inversion had a good spell there where they were almost able to clamp and control Cascade, but again, Cascade getting around again, keeping them pressured, keeping them pushed. The pit's nearly down. We may see a pitting here.
Well, I was going to say, both Roboteers staying away from the pit as it descended, entered into the final 10 seconds. What a close fight that turned out. Two verticals going head to head.
Yeah, very different designs. Obviously, Corruption a lot stockier.
But immediately a fork has been snapped as I see it, the shrapnel in front of us.
Yeah, we can see almost some of the already Stasis's ground game is looking a lot more vulnerable. Seem almost to be 3D printed forks instead of the standard metal ones on it.
So Corruption on its wheels as intended, and that is leaving Status, I think, a bit vulnerable here.
Yeah, Status are down at the side. Corruption is spinning way slower, but they may not need to. Stasis cannot really move out of their circle of
I mean, are we counting down? Is this getting close to a count out? Because they do look stuck.
Yeah, and I think we're here at the countdown happening at the moment. Corruption, clearly 100% something's dangling.
2, 1, and that is the countdown. Yeah. Such a shame, really, because you stay in the colour zone. And if I know David, he's not going to give any time. He is going to be charging in straight away.
Yeah, so we can see here both of them very, very fast, very aggressive. Kairos seemingly using a specialized blade for the metal on Lilith. We'll have to see how effective that is. And of course has a mini-bot. That cannot be forgotten.
Because we are actually seeing the mini-bot doing some effective work here. And is that Lilith stuck? No, not quite. They've managed to free themselves.
Yeah, a small pin and some light cutting here. We see sparks going.
And we just see Lilith there. Get off, Kairos. Go away as they shove him into the arena wall. That's the first bit of aggression I think we've really seen Lilith do.
Yeah, very nice shove. And it seems that Kairos might be breached on its own forks in a way. And Lilith is taking advantage of this moment.
So does Lilith have enough pushing power to lift him up over the wall? I'm not sure, but the mini-bot coming in and being a nuisance.
Yeah, the mini-bot sort of saved Kairos there, kept Lilith away, but Lilith continuing to hold a lot of momentum in this fight as it goes on.
So 1 minute is already gone, and we're now seeing Kairos quite consistently going on top of Lilith as they get ever closer. And I think some drive is broken there on Kairos.
Yeah, again, they just look at that.
A 2-for-1 scoop and slam. That was so...
The undercutter.
Activate.
Well, I think Flick is going to give Mow Problems something to worry about, as immediately we're seeing stuff flying all over the place.
Yeah, that's some of Flick's armor already shattered and sheared away. Mow Problems making no delay in actually dealing with some of Flick's armor. 2 panels go off now.
So the problem Flick is having is that even if it attacks it from the side, it's just going to go straight under, and that's where the weapon is for Mow Problems.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't look that violent of a hit. Flick has lost a wheel from that exchange, and Mow Problems is still working, still spinning.
That was so close. Mow Problems almost flipping itself into the Uta zone as Flick was actually trying to push the pit button.
Yeah, Flick is not out of this. The pit is already out. That's a problem for a robot as uncontrollable as Mow Problems.
And Flick actually darting over, flying over the open pit.
Yeah.
So that was very cautious there.
Yeah, excellent diversion, escaping out of that. Keeping pressure, no problems. And they've won it!
Mow Problems, no worry.
Activate.
Yeah, Aero struggling. Unfortunately, the fight was originally delayed because Sunstroke was having drive problems. But, I mean, credit to Sean, he's decided, let's just give it a go, see what happens.
And Sunstroke there just going head on. That armor of Aero is doing a fantastic job. Just a couple of scraps. And now we're seeing the hammer come down. A bit tentative though, a bit too soon.
Yeah, now Sunstroke is basically, the game plan here is just try to land a good shot and let Sunstroke come to you, which is easier said than done, certainly.
Well, there's just enough maneuverability in Aero for them not to get counted out.
Yeah.
So they are going to stay in this fight. Sunstroke is going to have to win it the proper way.
Yeah, we can see knocked over. Is there a way? And they're tapped out. Sunstroke's tapped out.
And so I think Aero there...
Activate.
You can see spinning up Frog in theory should have a mobility advantage.
So previously we've seen Frog use their lifter as a shield. They are just running away, but decide to go head on, and now they're often able to get to the side.
Yeah, and can the Self-Rider get them back up? Galahad Grapes is not taking any time here.
Massive impacts. They're not giving Sir Frog any chance. They are treating it as the robot it is, but now they're back on all their wheels.
Yeah, maybe a little overconfidence in some ways.
But look how mangled Sir Frog looks. That poor little frog is tapping out.
Yeah.
It cannot carry on.
Yeah, no, that was... I mean, winners.
And Chucky's been joined by a clusterbot, it seems. So once again, going head-to-head, and up onto the wall is Bubblegum Lift. Chucky, I think, winning that first exchange.
Yeah, Bubblegum seems to have used the shorter forks. Doesn't even need them. And Yeah.
Incredibly terrifying, so I don't like Forkhead's chances, but they're coming in with the prongs raised up to try and entangle the weapon, and immediately we do have an entanglement.
Yeah, they've managed to sandwich fork. They've lost one of their forks, the other's heavily bent.
And that's both forks gone now, so they have lost their defense. They are defenseless, but can Spinzolotl get their weapon up to speed?
Yeah, that's the goal here. So Forkhead, there's a lot of empty space at the front. They're going to be counting on that to take hits and try to just win this fight using control, basically. That's all they've got left.
So Forkhead very much trying to keep that spinning weapon at arm's reach, and they're trying to hit the button, but their chassis doesn't really allow them to. The button does get triggered in the end.
Yeah, they have hit the hit button. Very close there. This is not over. Forkhead's still in this one.
So Spinzolotl maybe getting a bit complacent, forgetting that the pit was about to fall, and they're on the wrong end, and in the pit they go!
And there we go, just like that.
Both down together.
Funniest thing is both of these robots weigh the exact same amount.
So the fight has begun, and the sparks immediately flying there, and that answered our question. Yes, the spinning disc of Swoop is long enough to hit Wajoo, but look how scared Swoop is. They don't want to get out of the corner.
Yeah, it's almost the most deadly lazy Susan that Swoop could ever fight in many ways.
And now we're seeing the uncontrollable nature of Swoop. Nothing they can do. Normally it's Wajoo.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the energy being departed, and like Wajoo could, one of these hits could easily take out Wajoo. This is a very dangerous fight for both robots.
Well, both of these robots are very scared of each other, as you say. Yeah. Like, the wheels are being shredded slowly of Swoop, and it will be a matter of time before they lose that ground clearance.
Yeah, and we can see something went. I saw sparks from Wajoo.
And, well, Wajoo has stopped. The countdown has begun. 3, 2, 1. Wajoo is out. Your winner!
Activate.
And so here we see the cluster bots darting over each other, and they're almost confusing Revron because it's hard to know which one to focus on.
Yeah, I mean, these robots are designed to get underneath robots like Revron, and it's so hard to not get, you know, it's so hard for you to keep away from both of their forks. So if they work together, it's going to be very hard for Revron to get under any of them.
Yeah, and now we are seeing there a pin in the corner. Revron just stuck on top of Revengers, and we're hearing the referee counting them down. These are pins. They're basically locking them up against the wall and then pulling them away.
It is translating to some degree. It's not got perfect movement.
That is smoke. We've got an eye by fire. Everyone, please stay sat down. Please stay sat down. We do have precautions for this. It looks like it's actually put itself out, which is a rarity.
Yeah, so at this stage,
going up against Wishbone, and this is going to be a battle that's going to be hard to tell, but it looks like Wishbone's getting the first exchange.
Yeah, already being aggressive at Chopstick, wasting no time. Have written don't on the top panel of Wishbone, clearly a message towards Chopsticks, and has been controlling the fight so far.
Well, that don't is now about to be challenged. This is an opportunity here for Chopsticks, but the Soul Blade looks to be broken. They've just broken themselves.
Yeah. So there you go, they've released, and yeah, the Saw Blade seems to have just come out of the casing, so that thing's going to be out of commission for the rest of the fight.
Yeah, it's hard to see whether it's the motor that's come loose of the casing or what. The pit is now going down, so that does give Chopsticks a way to win this fight, because otherwise you'd say it's in the hands of Wishbone.
Wishbone has an advantage, but Chopsticks still has its drive, still has that front setup.
Yeah, exactly. Those forks are really working well right now, getting underneath Wishbone.
Yeah, so we can see here, this is not over yet. I mean, Chopstick is a very bouncy robot. It takes hits, but the impacts don't seem to transfer the rest of it.
I'm just wondering if Chopsticks can still use the hammer as we get close to the pit. Wishbone there had a wheel over the edge, but managed to drive, and that is the saw blade of Chopsticks being flung across the arena.
Yeah, very dangerous game being played. Chopsticks nearly getting Wishbone in the pit, but Wishbone is still in this one. The pit is making this very tense for the next 30 seconds.
Can they get up? Chopsticks with the underdog story that went through this competition. Sunstroke has had to work for it, and immediately Ray darting out of the foxhole, charging in and getting underneath Sunstroke.
Yeah, so we can see here Ray trying to go head on and sort of riding up his Sunstroke on Ray, but not really getting a major. That was a nasty one though at the back.
And it looks like Ray is immobilized. Sunstroke nipped at the ear of Ray. And a round of applause from the audience. They think it's over, and it is now.
Yeah, no, I think what's happened is that the
Go
Activate.
after this one, and it looks like Cascade has changed their weapon or their front face there, especially for Angel Slice.
Yeah, much more to deal with the damaging spinner thread, which is valid enough. But again, maybe vulnerable to the forks now on Angel Slice.
But that said, I mean, I don't think they need to worry about that. Actually proving that they can get underneath Angel Slice no matter which side they go. And into the arena wall we go. That is very much Cascade's strategy throughout this competition.
Yeah, no fear from Cascade at all. Pure aggression, pure power, although I think in one of those exchanges, the lifter is not resetting as perfectly as it was in previous exchanges.
But I don't think it needs to because of the gyration effect. As soon as you unstable that spinning disc, that robot loses control.
Yeah, but now that disc is out hitting higher, hitting into the lifter weapon directly into Cascade, a few whacks of that can do some pretty big damage going forward.
And Cascade now trying to get Angel Slice over to the pit, proving harder than said. But they are on the right side, and they are just slowly, although running around in circles, they are slowly getting closer.
Yeah, no, I mean, Angel Slice is still very functional, still has drive, still has a weapon that it's hitting, and that's going to be big for the judges if it does go that way. But Cascade is remaining very aggressive here.
So if in terms of weighing this up, Angel Slice definitely doing the damage with that spinning disc, but Cascade, I think, has been in control in terms of maneuverability.
Yeah, and continuing to land hits, being aggressive. This has been a remarkable fight so far. Angel Slice guided into the pit button. Woo.
So once again, as we were saying, if you disturb Angel Slice and you get it unsteady, it will just do damage to itself flying up into the arena.
Yeah, Angel Slice is an undercutter that nearly roofed itself.
Well, we've got less than almost 10 seconds left to go as we get so close to the pit. Will this end in knockout or will it go to the judges?
Still very, very close. Anything can happen. But this is going to be a hard one for the judges to call. Very hard.
2, 1. Seize. Activate.
So both Roboteers heading into the middle. Looks like Lilith is out of position here as Corruption gets in the damage that he needs to do. That front edge of Lilith actually being a good target for Corruption.
Yeah, that front edge on Lilith is 1 millimeter of titanium. Very strong, but not invincible.
And tapped out. Lilith is out.
Seize.
Yeah, something clearly went with the machine. It's gone.
Round of 8.
Activate.
Yeah, so God Any Grapes has shown to be hitting like a truck. Flick has shown that it can take hits like a champion and is trying itself right.
Now you might think that piece of plastic is off of Flick. It's not. Got Any Grapes has lost a bit of their robot.
Yeah, and that's not going to be good for the stability of God Any Grapes going forward.
So if they lose another foot, they're really going to struggle because their disc relies on having that ground clearance.
Yeah, so God Any Grapes, the weakness of it is it can be made unstable. You can see if it turns left, it'll start eating into the ground. I wonder if Flick is going to adjust its strategy as a result of that.
Well, I'm not sure they need to. Flick is doing everything they have to. They are skirting around. God Any Grapes cannot pivot quick enough, and Flick is taking full advantage.
Yeah, Flick is trying desperately to get them out. They've lost another wheel again, as is tradition with a Flick fight.
But Flick's got to be careful here. They're bouncing over so close to the Uta zone.
And slightly scarily, Flick's weapon is not retracting anymore. This might be a danger if they fall over. It's moving slightly.
It's moving slightly, but in the wrong direction. Yeah. So that's kind of a pin that we've just seen up against the wall. Yeah. They disengage. And moving over to the pit. Got Any Grapes, though?
Yeah.
Well, what are they doing?
Nearly driving into the pit. What is happening here?
So Flick was getting stuck. Yeah. Their forks was getting them stuck on the edge of the wall. And, well, we're now seeing Got Any Grapes. They don't have the maneuverability. They're just edging, getting more into the corner.
Yeah, it's hard to see what either machine can do.
So Flick is going to keep Got Any Grapes in this corner, and the spinning disc is vibrating Got Any Grapes over to the edge.
And Flick nearly driving into the pit.
Why are they playing this dangerous game? 15 seconds is left. I don't think Flick can remove themselves. That's the jump.
That is insane. What a recovery.
What a risk.
Oh, but it could go around. It could go so around here.
3, 2, 1. We are over.
Activate.
Both robots very eager to start this one. And again, Forkhead getting Chucky in the same position as Luchador.
Yeah, we've seen that one before.
But the mini-bot came to the rescue there. Chucky was able to get out.
And then Chucky doing what Chucky does, throwing into the corner.
Yeah.
But Forkhead, they have a clear game plan here. That's twice they've got Chucky stuck on the roof.
I wonder, Chucky has magnets underneath it. Are the magnets getting stuck to Forkhead's forks? I wonder.
I mean, I'm not sure. It's a really interesting idea. So Chucky trying to stay magnetized to the floor of the arena, but potentially actually getting caught elsewhere. Magnetism doesn't care where it sticks to as long as it's ferrous.
Yeah, so there's a lot here. I mean, Chucky's clearly getting one or two good flips, but it's nervous. And you can tell like, it's driving nervous. Forkhead has a plan that has worked in the past. He's going to go for it if they can.
And in terms of driving power, this is actually proving to be a really equal battle. I think it's just whoever gets the momentum at that time. If all four wheels of Forkhead are down, they're winning the pushing power. But otherwise, Chucky, for two wheels, has got a tremendous amount of traction.
Yeah. One thing that can happen with Forkhead is that the two halves can go almost out of sync with each other, and it'll take a while to reset. That's a window to grab them, like Chucky is doing there now. But again, makes Forkhead so squirrely and hard to grab.
So Chucky had a good lift there, but Forkhead, with the ability to flail its limbs, decided to free itself from that. But we're still seeing Chucky in the driving seat, another good pin. But Forkhead reversing it around.
Yeah, again, more aggressive from Forkhead, now pinning Chucky. The mini-bot will try to get under Forkhead, destabilize them at all.
Well, I'm realizing what Chucky is doing. Chucky is flapping its lifter whenever it gets on top of Forkhead because it does not want to be carried to the Uta zone.
Yeah, but it would like it has happened right there now. Forkhead not in the perfect position to do it. The pin has been flipped. Chucky maybe getting a window there, but we're very, very close here at this stage.
Well, the fight is actually just ended. Yeah, the fight is ended. So that was 2 minutes. That went so quick.
So far.
Activate.
You can see Corruption getting up to speed and instantly.
Is that over? Is that it?
And there we go, Cascade, incredibly sporting. That'll be surprising at this stage of the competition. And freeing Corruption, and Corruption paying them back in kind.
So, yeah, you don't have to unstick your opponent. They could have ran away with a victory there. Yeah. They want to win this outright.
Yeah, no, that's a real statement from both competitors. And I don't think they'll do it again to each other, but again, incredible sportsmanship being displayed. And I have to say, Corruption has a lot of momentum here. It's landing a lot more hits on Cascade than they've been receiving so far.
Well, Corruption looks like a bigger robot. They're definitely winning the pushing power, and they also have what I would see as a more dominant weapon. So Cascade is going to have to rethink its strategy here. They are charging straight into Cascade. Into Corruption, but maybe that's not a good idea.
Yeah, Cascade has been going head-on against a lot of scary robots so far. But Corruption is just hitting them in a way that they don't normally get, and they're keeping facing Cascade, which is making it even harder for Cascade here.
Oh, and that's so close to the pit. We're seeing Corruption on the wrong side. Cascade just dipped a wheel over the pit edge, and now they're pirouetting around each other.
Yeah, that was a very impressive recovery from Corruption there. Could have gone horribly wrong, but again, Cascade continues to just put on pressure.
And I think what Cascade is trying to do is position themselves so that when Corruption gets a hit, the knockback actually sends Corruption into the pit.
That's potentially it, but there's only 30 seconds left, and this is going to be a hard fight for Cascade to win a judges for, although they're now starting to impress late on in this match.
Well, you say that, but they did do the unstick. And into the pit goes Corruption!
And there we go. Once again, well, they're
the best robot ever created.
Yeah, and there's two of them as well, which is a big help. I wonder, can Swoop actually hit the Revengers?
Well, I think they can just, but they're maybe looking to land on top of them. This is going to be an interesting battle. So that there, where they ran underneath and nipped up Swoop, I think there is a bit of a room to hit.
Yeah, I don't think the Revengers want to go. They want to go front on instead of back on. But again, it's like Wajoo almost. It's very low and a very tricky weapon type for Swoop to hit.
Well, so I'm looking at the blue cluster bot of Revengers, and there is a bit of smoke coming from the back there. I did see Swoop.
Ladies and gentlemen, he has...
Activate.
So the other cluster bot of Avengers does look a little bit damaged, and we immediately get a push of the pit button.
Yeah, the lone Avenger, but Swoop is dancing dangerously close to the arena.
And is that out?
Oh my God!
Is that out? They've done it! Swoop is...
Activate.
So the fight has begun, and immediately Chucky is up against Perp. Got any grapes?
Yeah, it's going to be difficult, I think, in this fight for Got Any Grapes to land a solid shot on Chucky. Bouncing around, and every hit is going to transmit something into God Only Grapes itself.
And we know that Chucky is a really maneuverable robot. They've proved that time and time again today. So getting around to the side of the Got Grapes, using them to ram them into the wall, and then letting their weapon do the damage to themselves. That has been their game plan so far in these 30 seconds.
And they've already got God Only Grapes in a rather compromised position. I don't know if God Only Grapes can free themselves from this position.
They definitely look stuck. That's their way. The spinning disc looks to be stuck on the edge of the wall there. The countdown has entered 3, 2, 1, they are done, and that is Chucky going through to the round. What is going on, corner? Unless I cannot wait to see how this one plays out. Sunstroke's immediately trying to get round the side.
Yeah, there's not a lot for Chopsticks to cut into without risking damaging the blade itself, but they have a very nice armor package at the front that is taking the hits, but it just need to last long enough for a good saw cut, like what you might see here.
I was going to say, you're calling it armor, but it is shredding away nicely. And Sunstroke now up in the corner. The saw blade coming down. There's a good hit on the tire of Sunstroke.
Yeah, that's a top panel, a carbon fiber top panel on Sunstroke, and Chopstick has not really cared too much at all about it.
But I'm looking at Chopstick and I haven't seen it start to spin. I know you've mentioned that they'll preserve it for the battery, but I do wonder, we've seen that dislodge before, so I wonder if it is actually working now as Sunstroke gets close to the pit.
It's hard to say. I mean, I thought they would be using it more if they have it available, but neither does Sunstroke have its weapon, and you'd say Chopstick should be better suited for a pushing match here.
Well, we've seen that Chopstick actually shredded part of Sunstroke's tyre, so maybe that's hurting Sunstroke's traction on this arena floor. Very close to the pit there, Chopstick in the driving seat in this point in time.
Yeah, and now using the saw arm almost as a grabbing arm instead of the saw blade, playing and pinning them for a while.
But they don't have the drive. They're not powerful enough on the arena floor to push Chopsticks into the pit, and the count mean they had to disengage.
Yeah, so both robots playing coy with the pit, I think. A very dangerous game. You can see.
And now that axe disc becomes a hammer as it comes down onto Sunstroke. Just a gentle tap, but in terms of aggression, it does show their anger.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely sends a message, certainly. And it is showing they are being aggressive. And can Sunstroke... No, they're not really doing anything else outside of just waving their saw arm in the face of Sunstroke.
Well, this is going to go to the judges. Begin. And Chucky there trying to get in, but Cascade getting underneath in the first leg and lifted up is Cascade by Chucky.
Yeah, instantly Chucky getting a grab, but not the lift that they were looking for. But already behind Chucky, but as you can see here, I mean, well, these are very fast robots. This is going to be very hard to commentate.
It's going to be hard to keep up, but Chucky with the fork advantage, I think, at this stage. I've seen a couple of times Cascade just getting caught underneath Chucky's forks.
Yeah, but Chucky also can wheelie quite a bit, and Cascade can take advantage of that, landing a hit there on Chucky.
But we're seeing Cascade not afraid to go head-to-head with Chucky. I do think that's a bad strategy for them, but they are finding themselves underneath, and they're almost juggling Chucky on top of them.
Yeah, it should be a bad strategy, but Cascade, for whatever reason, are just able to overwhelm Chucky this stage. Chucky getting a flip there, or a lift.
That's a very good lift there from Chucky.
Maybe
can they carry Cascade over to the pit? I think that's what they're trying to do.
Either that or out of the arena zone, do what Forklift did to Luchador earlier on in the competition. I mean, a very lovely toss by Cascade there.
So reversal there by Cascade, but Chucky once again taking advantage and control. We have had a minute of this fight, so we are into the final half.
Yeah, this is very even. The pit has only now been activated almost by accident.
That was definitely by accident. Neither of them wanting that to happen. And now we're just seeing the pirouetting, the pushing power battle. Who has the strength?
Yeah, and Chucky barely escaping death there.
So that's what we mentioned earlier, that Chucky gets a darted robot and it darted into the pit. Cascade is the winner. So will Chopstick's weapon stay operational long enough for it to do some proper damage as the cluster bots do what they do best, and they have immobilized Chopstick's wheels?
Yeah, well, every pin you can hold for 10 seconds, that's 10 seconds you're not getting cut into.
And that was a proper slash on the blue cluster bot as the brown cluster bot comes to the rescue.
Yeah, brown cluster bot is protecting the blue one and has the tougher top armor. which might be better against Chopstick.
Well, I'm not so sure it is, as we've seen 2 hits there from Chopstick. I thought that immobilized Revenger, but only 1 Revenger left now. The pit button is enabled, and that is brilliant control, actually, from Revenger, staying underneath Chopstick.
Yeah, the Revengers are not out of this yet, somehow.
Well, this is when they're the most dangerous. When 1 Revenger is left, that's when we've seen incredible things happen.
Yeah, Chopstick snapped its blade, and 50% of the Revengers have just vanished out of this fight.
Oh, but that was so close for Chopsticks. Revenger's in a dangerous position.
Yeah, I mean, Revengers is a very hard robot to get under, and this is, I think, very much the design expertise of the team. They've built control bots before. They know how to make a robot that's annoying to get under. Chopstick landing some hits, but crucially not getting through that top armor.
Well, they're making full advantage, taking full advantage of this. Now we're actually seeing a proper grind into the top of Revenger.
Yeah.
Hard to see on the pick cam.
On top of the previous one.
And they look like they're stuck. The Revengers are stuck on each other. The blue is immobilized. It's brown stuck on top.
Yeah, the Revengers are not feeling so good here, I don't think.
I'm watching the Roboteer, a shake of their head. The countdown has concluded. Chopsticks is in the final.
So there we go, Chopsticks and Cat.
Begin. And Chucky driving straight in there in the brown cluster bot, getting underneath Chucky. So I think immediately we're seeing that actually Revengers have the ability to get underneath Chucky.
Yeah, I mean, now one of the half of the Revengers seems to be struggling with drive, and Chucky is pressuring the other half while the first one has gotten freed.
And I was very cautious there because I thought we were going to see the Revengers both counted out. We might see that now as the cluster, the mini-bot is stuck underneath. So does this count as an unstick?
Yeah, it has to, because the mini-bot is under both of them.
So very lucky for them because they were in a very precarious position. But Chucky immediately tossing them on top of each other once again. And then we are seeing some movement.
Chucky seems to just be hoping to just trigger a judge's decision from the second stick. Which is a way of winning a fight.
But we're now seeing Revengers with Chucky on top of them. And what's funny about this is Revengers can go into the pit with one of their cluster bots, and that would still keep them in, but not anymore because I think the blue cluster bots counted out. Begin! And Cascade there immediately getting caught on the forks of Chopsticks, but they're not really doing much because they don't have a weapon to hit and do damage in those. Chopsticks by the looks of it.
I mean, Cascade is keeping pressure on Chopsticks. Chopsticks can get under, but can they get the weapon in and do meaningful damage to Cascade? That's the challenge.
And now we're just seeing a spinning disc, but it hits the pit button instead of Cascade. So Cascade managed to not the pit, it hits the Reno. Look at the side, the gash is left on the wall.
Yeah, no, it's a very powerful saw on Chopstick, but Cascade is keeping pressure on, and the ground game of Chopstick is not winning as often as I think they were hoping for, but it is still very even at this point.
So you have to say Cascade with a very lucky escape, but now Chopsticks has them pinned, and that is a big hit on the lifter of Cascade. And now the rear is exposed, but they don't spin up the saw blade in time, and Cascade escapes.
Yeah, so we can see here 1 or 2 hits already suffered by Cascade, but it doesn't seem to have lost any functionality yet at this point.
Not yet, and 1 minute has gone of this fight, and Cascade getting underneath Chopsticks. They're very much ramming into the wall, trying to get underneath with a lift. Chopsticks just biding his time with that weapon. They don't want that spinning disc charging 24/7 because they don't have the battery capacity.
Yeah, so it's very cagey, very precise, and now the pit's out. Anything could go wrong here. And God, very close and look at how effortlessly quick they both dart around the pit.
So Chops gets a lucky escape, and then Cascade, very cleverly driving around, decided to follow, and that's a good lift. Will we see them getting into the Utah zone? Not quite, but into the pit.
Very close.
So Chopsticks on the running side now. They are struggling, Cascade running away with this fight, but now we're seeing Chopsticks respond, and the saw blade comes up with a big hit.
And then can Chopstick get a meaningful cut here? It's going to go to the judges unless a pitting happens right at
5 seconds left. 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, that's it, as Chopsticks gets one final hit.
The fight
activate.
Away we go, up to speed. Frenzy, booted into the wall by Rotavator. 900 grams, I was told earlier, of spinning power. Big hits from the get-go. Up and flying around his exposure, trying to right itself. Frenzy chasing down Rotavator, does so. Oh, into the ceiling. Oh my God, and again. absolutely shredding the back of Exposure. It's peeling away.
Green square.
And Rotator is tapped out. Still going are Frenzy and Exposure. Up to speed is Frenzy. Trying to translate his Exposure. Frenzy, of course, a former event winner in its own right. And showing why. Exposure on his face. That'll do. Frenzy Surgical. Matt.
Activate.
Away we go. No movement from Autonomouse from the get-go, but Abracadabra and Fatal Deviation go blow to blow at the face.
Come on, Autonomouse. Almost. Wait.
Oh no.
Yeah, well, there we go.
Fatal Deviation. Very long. I quite like the wheelbase.
It's a small robot, that, isn't it?
Where does he fit all the weight? Where is it? Where's all the stuff? That's what I want to know.
Can John turn it into manual mode?
I don't think so. Autonomouse is turned on. ChatGPT has failed.
The AI takeover
Yeah.
is slightly delayed.
Royal Combat is safe for another year.
It's okay.
Abracadabra, meanwhile, and Fatal Deviation. There's also a little mini-bot in there, which is a very cool looking thing. Also,
It's like a scaled-down version of its bigger brother robot there.
I quite like it.
Yeah.
Very smart. Good driving match so far between Fatal Deviation and Abracadabra. Good lift there from Abra.
Well, that's a good lift.
Gets Fatal Deviation into the corner. Escapes. Saying, catch me if you can. Becca chasing down Fatal Deviation as best they can. Struggling to kind of keep up, though. The drive of Fatal Deviation is pretty brisk.
The mini-bot is having a great time on its own.
Hit button was
I love
activated
it.
there.
Just having a great time, really.
Descending.
Vibe him, to be honest with
Just
you.
vibing in the corner. Just doing some circles. Oh, the pit is lowered!
I do appreciate that someone in the chat has asked Grok if they can figure out what's going on. But I'll tell you what, they figured out what's going on with Fatal Deviation.
Because they're all out of the competition. But that doesn't mean their robots, haven't stopped working, so they're going to break them now for your pleasure. And that's all the commentary we can do because it's just certified chaos right now. What do you think, Gareth?
It is very chaotic, Joe Brown.
Thank you for that confirmation, Gareth. That's great commentary right there. So what we want to see from this fight, we want to see the red and white bot, Shaky's one, I've forgotten its name, kickflip, is that it?
That'll be kickflip.
Yeah, we don't want to see it getting stuck, and it's not getting stuck, so that's great. We've seen a lovely axe planted inside Reisen by Aggro Wobba. That's... We're just going to check the arena is in one piece, I think.
Activate.
And there we go, back up to speed now. If this was gymnastics, I would give that a gold. That was excellent. Now I think Reisen's weapon might have stopped, but we've still got a lot of action going on as Luchador still flipping.
Descending.
Kickflip still spinning.
Descending.
Aggro Wobba got his axe stuck down. Today is not Luchador's day. And there you go. Kickflip has done the thing again. Finally. That's the third time. And it's just Reisen left. Go on, Reisen, take out the trash. Oh! You didn't have to listen to me,
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And there you go. Yes, I like that, that's good. We want to see, most importantly, a flip from the fig one, the flesh-coloured one. Because it hasn't done any flips yet today that I've seen anyway, so...
It is quite an unnerving colour.
It is. It definitely looks like he's sort of taken that from his victims. But yes, anyway, so we've got 3 that do the kind of classic lifting, and then the green one does a grab and lift. So it has a claw that comes down, and then the whole thing lifts up other robots. But again, he's not had much success with the suplexing yet today, so we'd love to see that right now. Almost. Not quite.
And I didn't quite realise Kopout actually has a really nice livery, because underneath they've got some question marks.
Yeah, what does that mean? What could it mean?
Yeah, Kopout?
Ah.
Maybe we've been pronouncing it wrong this whole time. Kopout?
I like that.
So Big Roll doing a lot of the shunting work right now against Déjà too.
That's true. We've got a nice pile up near the out of the arena zone.
And the tables turn, but Big Roll managed to get out of it, and they dart underneath. That looked like a teleportation.
And the pit is now open and is looking very precarious for Déjà 2. In they go, followed closely by Gunfinger.
So now we've got Fig up against Kopout. And if only they performed this well during the rounds, they would have been doing a lot better. But Fig and Kopout, two very powerful robots, very quick robots, what I mean by that.
Definitely drive is definitely their strength for both of them. But
and Kopout stuck on the floor, but it is a whiteboard, so Fig coming in to disengage him.
That's what we like to see. We want to see a full fight. We don't want to see people losing their way. There we go. Get in there too. Go on, Fig. There we go.
Seize.
That's what we want.
Activate.
Impressive 2 fights today. So hopefully the other robots are going to...
Slam Navulin adopting a new sort of lance spear sort of technique.
The kebab skewer is a legendary weapon.
Yep, and he's been absolutely shifted at the start there because the hammer saw went straight through the top. And look at that, the drill going into Monterey Jack, making more holes than Swiss cheese.
Yeah, we've got Photon and the rammer. There you go. I can avoid it. Going at each other. Is there a release for the pin? Come on, guys. We've been at this a long time.
Absolutely.
There we go.
Oh, and now comes the Amazon. What broke there? It was part of Monterey Jack's wheel has been shredded, look. But it's in underneath. It has got a chainsaw under in that robot as well, just slicing into Photon's underside.
Nice jump over the top.
It really was.
But look, I think the drill is coming down on Monterey Jack. They all want a piece of the cheese, really. It's lunchtime-ish. No,
Yeah.
definitely not.
It's nearly dinner. We want a cheese board for later, maybe. Who knows?
Fight pause.
Unstick required.
Say, but Monterey Jack,
Activate.
the real star, because everyone seems to want a piece of it,
Who doesn't? We all love cheese.
apart from Jebben.
Pit button activated by Slam Navulin.
Descending.
Monterey Jack, I think, is locked up on one side and is reversed
And the other
over
wheel
the
is now over the pits. They're in a world of trouble, and down they go. It's Gorgonzola for them. Still going.
going.
These puns will get better, I promise.
But look at that, we've got Photon on the edge, and over
slap
it
them
goes.
down.
and
The
a
pit goes
great
Photon,
job.
and Perpetual's going as well because the other wheel's gone over the pit. They can't drive. Slam Navulin, the whiskey robot name, delivers a victory.
Oh, right, so we've got Fatal Deviation
Oh, dear.
charging in Buttercup in the corner.
I'm in a
They're
world
the
of trouble.
same size, really. DOOMbot attacking Car, who would? Come on, Sam, you got to get in there. There he is, attacking DOOMbot. You're really going for it, mate. I'm really proud of you.
I'm in there.
But yeah, Car back on the attack here. Not really working together with their teammate, but who cares?
They're kind of taking on each other, which I do kind of enjoy.
Yeah, lot to work for. But we've got, oh, there's a flick onto Buttercup. Back over it goes.
Fatal deviation grabbed by Buttercup as well, overturn. I'm going to hit the pit button. That's my tactic.
You go on then, mate, have it.
No,
And Buttercup's going over, DOOMbot over the pin, but not quite
Descending.
quick enough, Sam, on that one. Car over there in the corner getting absolutely put to shame.
Yes, I've got him.
He's at him there. Sam with a pin, we're going to have to count that one. Negative on the aggression there. Buttercup with a grab, there's a good rifle in the middle.
Oh
And
no,
now
he's got
Sam
me.
with a grab, oh, he's going away. DOOMbot is being shoved around here, absolutely cyberbullied by Rob Webb. I wouldn't expect anything less. Someone report that, man. But yeah, we've got, it's all DOOMbot, man. Leave
DOOMbot's great.
DOOMbot alone. I'm putting out a petition for this. It's absolutely outrageous. But Sam Elliott getting involved against Car, really big from you. DOOMbot is going everywhere around that arena. We've got another Car violence. Sam, you can't see, you flipped over, mate. It's not looking good.
But I'm still in. I'll do it for you.
The little kid is still in. DOOMbot back at it again.
Yes. Come on.
Go on, mate, have it. Look, I'll buy anyone like a sandwich if you get Sam Elliott down that pit,
I'm
mate.
in trouble.
10,
Here we go. The last 10 seconds. Can
8,
Sam Elliott live? If
7,
you eliminate him,
6,
I'd be very happy.
5,
Yes, I've killed Jed. I've killed
3,
Jed.
2, 1.
There we go. That's the end of the fight.
Activate.
as we start the fight here. As predictably, everyone's in each other's face.
Just a pile up, isn't it? Just absolutely hard to really commentate on this one. Bubblegum, I think, is in a good position in the driver's seat to actually make some moves here. Nice to see Inversion back up and running again, even though they're knocked out of the competition.
Yeah, again, Inversion losing to Cascade in a very close fight from memory. Bubblegum lift, the only 4-bar lifter of them all, and that is a slight difference between the others.
Descending.
And as you mentioned, 2 robots who have been knocked out. 2 robots who win. Oh no! That's another Fox out of the competition.
Oh, what a shame. And potentially another one being dragged in with Tammy.
So Abracadabra down in the pit as well. That leaves the 2 robots who are formerly knocked out of today's fights. Bubblegum Lift versus Inversion. This is almost a rematch.
It is, in a way, as we can see here. Now, Inversion is trying to hold them down.
And Bubblegum Lift is dancing a little bit, but this is a whiteboard, so I'm expecting Inversion to get in there. Can they carry over to the pit? It looks like it. Abracadabra gives Bubblegum Lift a helping hand out of the pit.
Yeah, very nearly the fight there won. Bubblegum Lift trying to use the weapon, trying to pry them against the arena. This is a dangerous spot for Inversion to be in.
This is close on the edge.
Desperately trying to get him. Inversion trying to wriggle free, but also maybe he's stuck in there with its forks. But Sam isn't going to leave him. No, he wants this to be finished.
Oh, they're on the edge, and in they go. Bubblegum Lift. A redemption
by the pit button, Frenzy, and by the other square we have Galahad, and immediately Impact Maze, and huge carnage in the arena. Home Improvement flying all over the place.
Yeah, already we can hear someone hit the roof, I'm sure.
It was Home Improvement who hit the roof, and they've hit something again. The belt has snapped on Home Improvement.
Yeah, you can hear Frenzy's weapon, very aggressive, clearly speeding around. Maybe a bit of gyro dancing going on.
A little bit, but not at the moment. I think something's come flying off there of Galahad as well. The front end has been completely split.
Enable.
Right. Goodness me.
My goodness, out of the arena goes Galahad, and tap out for Rosevator. Frenzy is still running, Home Improvement's still running.
Yeah, a very big damage for Rosevator. I can see exactly why they tapped out. That sounded expensive.
It did sound expensive. Home Improvement's getting absolutely destroyed.
Wait, Home Improvement is still in this one?
It is.
I mean, yes, they are. They're doing very well.
It's
very durable, very aggressive.
I think this is John Luke's last time driving this robot, so they're going to try and destroy it. And down the pit via a Frenzy roofing.
Activate.
And away we go.
So instantly Bot remaining aggressive against Lilith while EMP and Frog have a go at each other.
Lilith trying to chase down as well. There's Ray getting to the side of Sir Lancer Frog, a frog and a fox in the arena.
Yeah, we can see there Lifter and EMP seemingly a bit better, but not quite getting on this. Getting a little flick.
Yeah, good little flick, but it's not quite sitting on the floor like they'd like. Now is.
See here, Bot continuing remaining aggressive. Ray always in the action certainly as well.
Absolutely. Lilith sort of sliding around and throws Ray upside down, and now comes the devastating hammer of Bob. It's absolutely not even caught in the lifter there.
No, that's doing a huge amount of damage to the paint job on Lilith.
It's like a little termite. Ray down the pit via Sir Lancer Frog. Didn't see that happening.
Yeah, there, the Frog versus the Fox. I was not expecting the Frog to win that fight.
Yeah. Evolution's a strange thing, you know. Oh, down the pit goes Lilith. Trying to push Bob down, and we're left with EMP, Bob, and Sir Lancer Frog.
Yeah.
3 good friends outside of the arena, in the arena. Well, they're still good friends, really, aren't they?
Yeah. But good control, of course, obviously, from all 3 of them. Difficult to see Bob, of course, always very aggressive.
EMP good push close to the pits. Very close to the pits. And Sir Lancer Frog joining in sympathy. What have you done, Nick?
Yeah, Frog just sort of drove in there, didn't they?
And down goes the Frog, and we're down to 2, EMP and Bob is the one, to me, who's in the ascendancy.
Yeah, Bob is too much momentum at this stage. It is just not even trying to push EMP more, it's just, drag it out as much as possible. Make him hurt.
Lifter still going. Good push by EMP, though, responding very well. Down comes the hammer of Bob on top of EMP.
10, 9, 8, 7,
it doesn't quite sit down properly, does it? We're going to get a time between EMP and Bob. And is that a good fight? A very good fight.
Very fun, very entertaining.
activate.
So the spin up style, Mow Problems instantly losing a bit of control.
My goodness.
Flying around.
Oh my goodness, what's going on?
Yeah.
I can't keep up.
Yeah, a lot of metal, a lot of flying around very
That
quickly.
little bit of rod, by the way, in the arena was a sellotaped piece of rod to the feet of Mow Problems, and a wheel has come off of Wishbone.
Yeah.
DeuxBrie, I think, is tapped out,
Yeah.
but his Shreking Ball stuck underneath DeuxBrie.
I think Shreking Ball maybe stuck into looking to drive, period.
It's struggling. And there goes the other wheel. Get back into the action. Come on, Wishbone. I want to see more.
Yeah, and I think Mow Problems, I don't know if Shreking Ball is still working.
Shreking Ball is spinning down, has stopped, and there's nothing happening now.
Over almost as quickly as it started. Oh, that's a bit cheeky.
Nothing. And that's it.
Is
Mow
it? Well,
Problems.
hold on, no, they're not done yet. Mow Problems and Shreking.
No, I think that's it. Mow Problems, I think. Oh, and suddenly, Shreking Ball's back. He's back from the dead,
So,
and he's stuck again.
this is...
Oh, he's back again.
Okay, can someone please hit each other?
Yes.
Thank
you, Rob. Shreking Ball back in the action. Okay, fight not over. Here we go.
DeuxBrie and Wishbone are going
Oh,
to
my
be
goodness.
terrified going forward for the
It's
rest
still,
of this fight.
this fight's still going.
Yeah, I mean, DeuxBrie already catching strays. Shreking Ball
Pit Button is
stuck
activated.
again.
Descending.
Mow Problems still moving around
Descending.
again.
And there's Shreking Ball.
Next
What is
alive
going on with
again.
Shreking Ball? What is going on? Shreking Ball stops again.
Yeah.
Mow Problems is spun up. Shreking Ball's back.
There we
It's
go.
still going.
Shrek seems to be,
It's still happening.
there's a
9.
passive strategy of playing dead.
6,
What is going on?
4,
And now,
2, 1. Seals.
That was one of the fights of all time.
Activate.
so here we go. The spinners of Stasis. Well, only Stasis' spinner has gone up. Reisen's still not spinning, and Arrow. Sorry, Arrow's not in this fight, are they?
No, we got Aggro Wobba though, upside down. They look like they're out of it. I don't think their weapon is going to self-right them.
Yeah, hopefully someone can knock them back over. But yeah, that's a beautiful whack. Agawaba hit there. Stasis playing with its food in many ways.
Yeah, this is actually a bit vicious now. Stasis having his way with the competition, and I do not like the chances.
Yeah, no, very wobbly weapon on it there, certainly. Still going, obviously. Yeah.
I mean, I think they're trying to get Aggro Wobba back into this competition. I mean, all the help they can have would be a big benefit.
Certainly, yeah. Well, I mean, you know, to Perpetual's credit, it is still in there. It's still driving. The weapon is not going to work, but it's remaining aggressive, and that's what you need at this stage, really. The pit has been enabled.
Descending.
And I think it would be very easy for someone to push Aggro Wobba in. But that was so close there, Stasis. The pit did not descend quick enough.
Oh, yeah, and Stasis getting another whack here. This is very much its playground in many ways. And getting the pitting in.
Seals.
As soon as the countdown starts, and there we go. Kopout up into the air and immediately self-righted.
You forget that Flick is pretty powerful, you know?
In terms of a flipper, I mean, what you're mentioning there is either a slow flipper or a fast lifter. That's definitely a flipper.
Yeah, it pops to a degree that you don't normally see.
Fight
You can see instant.
Activate.
So we're going to begin, and Flip there actually being a bit calm so far. Forkhead deciding to take Flip on as their enemy.
Yes, indeed. So Flick is righting itself, dealing with its own thing at the moment. Forkhead, again, lovely lift there. It has a sort of this patented move almost, where it just grabs an opponent and can so easily carry them over to the pit or the Uda zone. And then Flick, can Flick jump out?
For the second time today, Flip has saved themselves from the pit, but not quite enough, as both Flick and Kopout go down at the same time, and now pirouetting is Bubblegum and Forkhead.
Yeah, our two remaining competitors really have come alive now at this point. A lot of energy now. Forkhead again with speed. It's difficult to see them lasting, but oh, they're very much.
They're riding over the top of Kopout, so Kopout stopping them from falling into the pit. I think Forkhead's actually maybe too wide to maneuver around the pit like that.
Yeah, no, it's sort of an advantage. They were almost too wide to go in. That's what saved them in some way. But now we're going to getting some good slams, some good shoves in there, being a bit more aggressive. Forkhead just sort of saying no to the pit more than anything else, I would say.
Once again, Kopout actually coming to the rescue, and both robots are in a very dangerous position. I think Bubblegum Lift is going to manage to get out of the way, and a beautiful reverse there from
They
Forkhead.
managed to get out, but now they're trying to self-ride, and Forkhead taking the initiative here.
9,
Sort of just
8,
parceling in
7.
Bubblegum Lift.
I think that's in. I think that's done.
And at breakdancing, if you can believe that a robot can do that.
Activate.
Okay, right. I don't know what I'm getting. Icebreaker Wishbone. DOOMbot has already lost a wheel. Fatal Deviation is going through it.
I mean, Wishbone then picking on the mini-bot, which is just so cruel.
Yeah. You can see here, Fatal Deviation, monstrous almost, isn't it? Yeah.
So now Icebreaker starting to break the arena, pushed up against the floor, the wall. That's really good driving, actually.
Yeah, DOOMbot is just disintegrated already. I think it's out of this fight. Fatal Deviation, surprisingly durable, given its complication. Fatal Deviation in exactly the wrong place to be. And now we've got, I think this is a rematch of the round of 32 fights.
Absolutely. Well, and a massive, massive hit there. Wishbone just trying to get into. Icebreaker struggling to turn around. That gyration's really difficult. So close to the pit, but not falling in just yet.
Yeah, the noise of Icebreaker when it hits the arena, it's hard to convey on the stream. It is deafening in person.
Nice.
DOOMbot saving Icebreaker in a way from going out of the arena.
Well, yeah, they're not out of this competition, but I'm not sure you want to go up against Icebreaker or Wishbone. And flung into the wall is Icebreaker.
Yeah.
The fact that they're still going is incredible. 40 seconds left.
Yeah, I mean, this is why Icebreaker is such a scary robot. Because of how many whacks it can take and continue to be terrifying to listen and see. But again, Wishbone is just driving so well here.
And they are doing a great job with their beta. That is just grinding away. And not no DOOMbot. They don't need any more damage.
Yeah. Yeah, DOOMbot seemed very, very happy to just let the robot be destroyed. 10 seconds now remaining in this fight. Icebreaker finally landing a good hit on one of Wishbone's wheels.
So close going into the pit. Wishbone's upside down. Icebreaker finally getting in a couple of hits, and that's the end of the fight.
Yeah, and I believe both